Okay, looks like we're live. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me for yet another live stream. I made the announcement on my blog post, which you can find at this website here on the bottom of the screen. I made an announcement on my blog recently that I'm going to be doing live streams every Saturday until further notice because of this whole quarantine thing going on. Today I'm going to be live streaming some drawing that I'm doing for some Kickstarter commissions. Because I ran a Kickstarter back in February to get The Legend of Jamie Roberts Chapter 2 into print. And there were some higher level peeps who backed at such a level that they can get commissions from me. And I have their commission requests. Actually, let me take a second to get that up on my web browser just to get that prepared. I also have a cat who has not decided to jump into my lap, and she keeps going back and forth and back and forth. And she needs to make a decision. Okay, she's walking away. At least she's giving the appearance that she's going to walk away. We'll see if she actually does. Now, here is one commission reference. And on Kickstarter here really fast. There is one commission that I am not going to draw because it is private and I am respecting the commissioner's wishes. But for those people who did agree to have their commission live drawn, I will be drawing those. Let us see. A mini schnauzer. Okay. One of my Kickstarter backers is asking me to draw a mini schnauzer. I know what those look like objectively. It's just been a while, so I'm going to get some photo references. Oh, they're such a cute pupper. Okay. This person is getting a black and white full body commission. And they want me to draw a miniature schnauzer. So I'm going to start a new one. This is going to be a pupper. So I'm going to, you know what? I'll keep it the rectangular dimensions here. Oop. Okay. Let's see. Oop. Wonder if there's anybody in the Meldrash is first. Yes, as he should be. Zawarudo! Dio! You came! What? How did you make it into the chat? My gosh! I wasn't expecting Dio, but then again, nobody expects Dio. Okay. I'm just going to throw this out there. Looking at these photo references, miniature schnauzers have the silliest snoots. They really do. Okay. Oh, that's a pen. We're going to do pencil first. Little button nose and then a snoot. Look at the photo reference again. Okay. I wonder if my little sister's dog Eddie has miniature schnauzer in him, because looking at like the face shape, this is making me think a lot about my little sister's dog Eddie. I'm actually going to move this sketch up a bit. Pencil. Okay. I forgot you got to hit the P key twice to get pencil. Okay. Okay. Even though I have drawn dog portraits multiple times because of working at Cedar Point, you would be amazed at how many people want caricatures drawn of their pet dogs. You would think that I would know how to draw dog eyes, given how many times I have drawn dogs, and yet dog eyes are what trip me up half the time. Because they're these like big old orbs of like almost blackness. Okay. Making sure everything's all copacetic before I keep going. All right. So that's the pencils. I think I might go in and just make the pencils just that little bit more vibrant, because whenever I draw commissions for folks, I forward the pencil sketch over to them for their approval before I continue. Just be like, hey, is this turning out pretty okay by your standards? What do you think? Do I need to make any tweaks? Let me know. So I'm just going to go in and make some of these pencil sketches just a little bit more bold. I got a surprising amount of animal requests from this last Kickstarter that I did. By the way, miniature schnauzer paws are ridiculous because they're peg legs. they're furry peg legs. Miniature schnauzer front legs are, at least. Especially the purebred ones. Like purebred miniature schnauzer front legs are peg legs. They're pirate dogs. It's delightful. At the tail. And pencil. There we go. Okay. Freaking. Okay, there we go. Just going to cast a little shadow so that's a little bit more evident that this is a top-down view of this dog. There we go. As far as a rough sketch goes, I think that'll work. We're going to save this super fast. Work with me. There we go. Okay. So we're going to shrink that down. It doesn't need to be 300 DPI if I'm going to send the preview over to them. DPI, for those who may be confused, stands for dots per inch. It's the size of a particular piece. It usually just means how many pixels per inch of a image does it refer to. The lower the DPI is, the friendlier it is for the internet to upload it, generally speaking. All right, so we got that miniature schnauzer, and I'm going to need to send that to Mandy for her approval once this live stream is done. What is the next commission? Ah, okay. I forget that sometimes this person, Pat, she's been a huge supporter of me since day one. She always leaves it up to the artist as to what I want to draw. So half the time I'm like, yay! And the other half of the time I'm like, oh God, what am I going to draw? So you know what? I wasn't originally going to take requests, but you know what? I'll leave it up to chat. What would you like me to draw for Pat? Because she's left it open-ended. She hasn't made any specific requests. She just, her comment literally in the Kickstarter survey was, I've always trusted your judgment on what you love to draw. And like, I could draw anything. So if you have a particular idea of what I should draw for Pat, go ahead and just leave a comment in the chat. I can't guarantee that I will actually go with your suggestion, but I will read them at least. Today's drink of choice is hot chocolate with a little bit of heavy cream in it, just a little bit. Because I had tea earlier today. I'm mixing it up. What are some of the other commission requests while I'm waiting for comments to come in? Okay, that's the private one. Here we go. Okay. One backer wants me to draw a character of theirs being super awkward with a sword. I can do that. All right. Let me get the reference image back up for this particular character. Okay. I'm going to get the body language first before I get into the actual like details. Let's see. I had an idea for one pose in my head, but I'm reconsidering the pose. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to draw little composition sketches and see which one looks best. A little bit. These are just little composition sketches just to get an idea of what, a rough version of what this could look like before I actually start drawing the real thing, because there's a couple of ideas playing around with in my head. I don't know which one would look best. Because the idea for this particular character is that they're awkwardly holding a sword. And that reads to me like this particular character has never picked up a sword, and they don't know how heavy it is until they try to lift it up. So any of those could work. So, well, we already talked about Dio, so I could draw Dio for Pat. I don't know if she would know who that is, but I could draw Dio. Or I could draw a vampire. I could draw a vampire. So that's an idea. Do you know what? I'll draw Dio as over the top as he is. The good thing I know what his full name is. Oh God, I just went into the Google image search, and a lot of these are just so meme-orific. It's marvelous. Some of these are just, man. Oh, Dio, you delightfully over the top character. I will say though, I like his design from the original JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime run. There were two runs of the anime. There was one from like the late 90s, early 2000s, and then there was one run that was much more recent. The one that's much more recent is actually like the beginning part of the series, and the stuff that was animated back in like the 90s to the 2000s was like the second half of a different arc, because of course it has to be complicated. Vampires are cool. Hi, Carlos. Good to see you. I wasn't sure if you were going to make it. You were making it sound like you weren't going to make it, but I'm happy to see you here. So, okay, we're going to do vampires for Pat. I'm trying to think if I have a vampire original character. I don't remember if I do. You know what? I got it. I got an idea. Okay, we're gonna save this one. This is Adams as a work in progress. We're gonna, dang it, that was the wrong one. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Okay, so I have to build the bridge in my thought process to get to this decision. So I'm going to draw my character Acrodon. I almost said Oxyton. That's a completely different character. But I'm going to draw Acrodon for Pat. And the reason I'm going to go with Acrodon is because even though he is a demon, he does have fangs. And he does have a demon form. And the bridge that made me jump from vampires to Acrodon is just that visual connection of like fangs. And like, what original character do I have that has fangs? I have a few other ones that could maybe count, but they're more half-orcs. They're not fangs, they're just tusks. They're upside down fangs. So I guess that could mean that half-orcs are like the reverse vampires of the fantasy worlds. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Okay, I'm going to draw Acrodon for Pat. Fuck it, I'll do the demon form. I was thinking about drawing his human shape, but I hardly ever get to draw his demon form very much. So I'll draw his demon form. Why not? This is also going to be really good practice for when I finally get to drawing Dance Around the Maypole, which is coming, guys. And I have to say that because the Case of the Wendigo, when it ran on Kickstarter, one of the stretch goals was to raise enough money to pay my friend Chloe to work with me on Dance Around the Maypole, which was going to be the spiritual successor to the Case of the Wendigo. And it was going to focus a lot more on Acrodon and Claudia, two of the main characters in the Case of the Wendigo. So I just realized this is going to be a full body commission. So I'm going to shrink this down. Oof, excuse me. Okay. It's a good thing I opted to do is demon form, because demon form is a lot more badass. Actually, knowing that, I'm going to do a little bit more dynamic posing. Shrinking that. Okay. At first glance, this could pass for Dio, because Dio does have, like, he has an incredibly V-shaped torso. Like, he really does, if you've ever seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And skirting the edge of the page. I'm gonna bring that down a bit. And move it up some. There's probably going to be a lot of scaling involved, just FYI, for this particular piece. Because in this particular form, he does have wings. So I'm debating whether I want to keep the wings on the page or draw them off the page, like draw them going full on off the page. Debating this. Ooh, you know what? Keeping with the theme of Jamie Roberts, because this is for the Legend of Jamie Roberts Kickstarter campaign, I might make this particular version of Acrodon into a Mokta version, because Mokta are the main bad guys of the Legend of Jamie Roberts for this particular arc. Mokta are a particular kind of negative spirit. I don't want to get into too much detail as to how it is that they come about in the world, because that is going to be explained in Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is still ongoing online. I did get a commission request from a former patron of mine. He had to take a break for a little bit, but I did get a commission request from a patron. I may also draw his commission during this live stream, because he made an adorable request and I cannot wait to draw it. Oh, I will say, because I do love drawing the male figure, I have made it a point in the last few years to not draw six-pack abs on male figures, especially on muscular male figures. Because here's the thing about six-pack abs that people don't tell you, is that six-pack abs are only there when you flex. To show them off, you have to flex, because in their natural state, they are not six-pack abs. They look like a beer belly. So whenever I draw the male figure, I do my best to not draw each individual ab, but it looks like a gut. Ten-pack abs. I did see episode, I think it was 57 of Critical Role Campaign 2, and there was a half-orc character that the group came across who's like big and burly and strong and covered in tattoos, but he's also like incredibly sagely, and it made one of the clerics in the group just kind of cross his arms and say, even his advice had abs. It's like, it's great. Okay. Yeah, fuck it. Jeez. All right. I've got to tweak this arm a little bit. Chloe, if you are watching this, I am so sorry. I'm not following my own advice considering the placement of wrists that I told you about the other day. It was last week that I gave you that hot tip about how to draw wrists and the placement of the elbows. If you were not here for the live stream that I did last week, the hot tip for how to place the elbows is you draw the shoulder, you draw the wrist joint, you draw a line connecting them, and then you find that halfway point on the line, and then you just draw it straight down, a perpendicular line, and boom, there's your elbow placement. There you go. Hot tip from me to you about how to place elbows. You're welcome. You know what? I'm just going to change the canvas size. Oop. There we go. Okay. Because I want to draw these fingers. Gosh dang it. This is just a rough placement because these are going to be claws. But I got to use the human hand as the basis. So there's one. Here in just a minute, Adam, if you're going to stick around, I want to ask for your feedback on the commission that I started for you, to get your feedback on what you would like to see. In particular, this is what I'm talking about. So let me know if you would like me to draw pose 1, pose 2, pose 3, or if you want me to just keep doodling and try to find another pose, because I can keep doodling. So just let me know. I'm going to leave it on the screen for a hot moment more so you can think about it, deliberate, ponder. If you want me to draw pose 1, pose 2, or pose 3 for your particular commission, gonna linger for another hot moment more. Okay, switching back. And I need to save my progress on this. I need to get better at this. This is Practice Commission. I'm going to make this a Moktaw version of Acrodon's demon form. I think that would be fun. Fun and different. And I'm going to draw nipples on this one because this ain't Twitch. On Twitch, you can't show nipples of any sort. Which is weird, but you know what? It's their platform. They can do what they want. He has a broader chin. Let's see. He's also got cheekbones. He's got cheekbones for days. So crap, what does his nose look like? I'm imagining spiritual abs just floating in the air in a thought bubble now. You're welcome. Finger chance. Pose 2 looks dope. Thank you for your vote, Carlos. Kind of liking pose 1. All right. It'd be perfect if she's like clenching her teeth and looking away from it because she's scared of it. I think I have an idea of what you mean. So like, I love the idea of like a really crooked and agitated tail to like highlight the pose. Days and weeks on them cheeks. Yes. Hail to nipples. You know, Sean, I know that you and I have a lot of dirty jokes that go back and forth, but like this is a new level. All right. Okay. So, yeah, there we go. I'm thinking that new little sketch will work just fine. I think it'll work. I think it'll work for you there, Adam. I'm thinking. I'm just gonna number that number 4 just to. There we go. Save and go back to this. Draw them cheekbones for days. I forgot what his nose looks like. Hold on. You would think because I have drawn this character. I drew this character for like a little over a year. You would think I would know what his nose looks like, and yet it's like my brain purges what particular character sheets look like once the comic is done. Page this one. Okay. It's a better idea. Okay. I have an idea of what his nose looks like now. Again, you would think that I would know what he looks like, but to be fair, I haven't drawn this character in a little over 2 years, 3-ish. But like I drew him every day or like every gosh dang week for like a little over a year. You would think that I would remember, but apparently not. Yeah, hi to you too, Sean. All right. back to the nose. Now that I know how to draw the nose, I've kind of started drawing eyebrows backwards. I used to start them from like the inner nose bridge outwards towards the cheeks, but now I draw them like starting from the cheeks and then bending inwards. Especially when it comes to like the angry eyebrows or like the focused eyebrows. For this particular version of Acrodon, I'm not going to draw pupils. I mean, his demon form didn't have pupils. They were just solid eye colors. I want to say sclera, but I don't think that's the right word. But they were a solid eye color. Mokta in The Legend of Jamie Roberts also have a solid eye color, but it's not gold, it's white. Also, I really like drawing pointed ears, and this is something that I have had many discussions at Never Ending about. By the way, this episode is sponsored by Never Ending, the app that I've been working with. You can find out more about them on Twitter at BeNeverEnding or at BeNeverEnding.com. But I've had discussions with the team about how long should elf ears be. And I am of the opinion that elf ears should be long. And there are peeps on the team who are like, but elf ears should be short. And I'm like, but they should be long. But that's me having grown up with the Jak and Daxter games. In the Jak and Daxter games, the elf ears are like out to here. It's what I'm used to. I like the aesthetic. Like, don't at me. I will talk with you about how much I like them. I'm not going to like defend them with my life or anything, but I think it's fun to make them long. How did I draw his horns though? I don't remember his horns. Ears for days. Yeah, that's, you know, the more I describe Acrodon, the more I realize that I am describing a caricature. Because in caricatures, if somebody has like big features of a particular type, you exaggerate that and you have to make other things smaller to emphasize how big those things are. So like Acrodon is very, very close to being like a caricature of a face with nothing but cheekbones and ears. Because that's just how he looks. I like long ears, and I cannot lie. I don't know if that was the tone of voice you intended for me to read that in, but that is how I'm going to read it. Also, yes, long ears are best ears for elves. Okay, I need to look up image references for what his gosh dang horns look like. Let me just open up a file here. Get into comics, Case of the Wendigo. I want to pull up a finished page for this one. This is a later page. If you haven't read it, this could be spoilery, but we're going to go with it. Okay. Yeah, this gives me a better idea of like, yeah, cool. I was thinking that the horns were like really straightforward, and it turns out they are. Replace the horns. Okay. It's got a wild mane of hair. And I'll draw the wings. Canvas is going to have to get a bit bigger for this. Color, a little wider. There we go. Okay. Might need to get a lot wider. I forgot the foot. Gotta fix this. My brain forgot to draw how to draw tetrograde feet over the last couple of years, and I had to relearn it. Brain. Do wing placements here. Now, there are winged Moktaw in The Legend of Jamie Roberts. They will make an appearance later on in the story. If you saw my March Madness sketches that I did on social media back in 2017, I want to say, I did some sketches for in March one year, and I called it Monster Madness because March Madness, Monster Madness, I'm clever. But a lot of those designs that I did for Monster Madness were Moktaw designs for The Legend of Jamie Roberts. Because I like designing monsters. It's what I do. So Kelsey only here for a few minutes, got a D&D game in a few, but I wanted to pop in. That is the running theme for today. So you're not the only one. I think there was another campaign happening earlier, but I wasn't able to make it because I already made the dedication to do this live stream. So I'm doing this live stream. But it's good to see you, Ben. Have fun at your session. I'm hoping that you're playing your little 11-year-old sorceress girl because she sounds delightful. Also, I was listening to the Overly Sarcastic Productions stream of Hollow Knight, and they were talking about playing up particular stats of a character, and they were talking about charisma. And they brought up, listen, if you have a high charisma character, that does not mean that you have to sleep with everybody in that game universe. High charisma can look like a lot of things. It can look like, for example, Ben's little 11-year-old sorceress girl character has charmed everybody, and everybody in the party is like, I will protect this little girl with my life. So it can look like that. It could also look like my half-orc character, Ollie, the druid. She has a surprisingly high charisma. She's just super likable, and she doesn't want to like upset the vibe. Like, she knows the vibe of the room, man. Kind of a thing. So that can be high charisma too. Or high charisma could be like somebody who's just really, really earnest and like, gosh dang it, you want to see them succeed because they're just so charming. So high charisma can look like a lot of different things. Okay, so I think this is good for, at least for a preview. I'm going to forward this to Pat for her approval before I finish this up. Acrodon does have a beard. in his human and demon form, he has a beard. He's a very scruffy man. And when he's in his human form, he is a very hairy man. Okay. All right, got that detail, so that's all good. Almost forgot that. Could not forget that. And yeah. Okay. That's good. Sadly not playing Little Orphan Meiji, different campaign, playing a Yuan-Ti blood hunter that has trouble with common. You mentioned this character in one of your live streams, actually, and if y'all would like to see one of his live streams, just check out BWH Comics here on YouTube. He's got some live streams up. But I remember seeing the character sheet that you had drawn for this particular character, so happy that you're finally playing him. Beards are transcendent. I mean, they really are. Also, if you have not seen Wheezy Waiter on YouTube, he's all about the beards. In fact, his fan base is called Beard Lovers because he is in fact bearded. Beards are transcendent. Also, bards are transcendent. Barded, I was going to say barded beards, bearded bards, but also barded beards. But bearded bards, woof, mind blowing. Changing the link that's highlighted this time. Again, this particular live stream is sponsored by Never Ending. Check them out at beneverending.com. They're a company that I've been working with recently. They actually hired me on as their chief creative officer, so I'm in charge of like the visual aesthetic of this particular app that we're developing. We are developing a video app to help make it easier for people who have no artistic skill to bring segments of their D&D campaign or another story that they are working on to visual life. So there's going to be like a library of art assets so that you can construct your own characters and you can put them in given environments and you can tell stories much easier. Bearded bards belting ballads. That is a tongue twister, good sir. Bearded bardings. Lady dwarves, with or without beards? With. I am of the opinion that lady dwarf beards be short, and that male dwarf beards be like poof. But that's how I envision it in my head. But I love the idea of bearded lady dwarves. Rat Queens, the comic, actually has bearded lady dwarves, and it's delightful. I also believe that Ashley Birch had a guest character. She did have a guest character on Critical Role in Campaign 2 who was a lady dwarf, and she had a 5 o'clock shadow. And I'm like, yes, 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 and yes. I am all about bearded ladies. But I already have a soft spot for people who, you know, play around with gender expectations. And a lot of the characters that I end up drawing also play around with gender expectations. Like Jamie Roberts is deliberately genderqueer. I have a character in Thoughtful Dinosaur. The main character, Billy Velocci, has a traditionally boy name, but she is a girl. Charlie from the Charlie and Cloud Adventures, her name is Charlie, which is a traditionally masculine name, but she is a girl. So I love playing around with gender expectations and things. I've been playing around with a story idea of a sorcerer, a big, bulky, like sorcerer dude who goes by the name of Leslie, but I still need a plot for his particular story. I have a character idea, but I don't have a plot. Here's my website for anybody who would like to check me out. All of my social media links can be found through there as well. So back to this. We're going to go with pose number 4. Creating a new layer. Just gonna shush that for a minute. Pencil layer. Yeah, I just made this particular layer invisible, and I'm going to keep it invisible while I work on this. So, Adam, I am working on your commission right now. I'm not going to draw the details in quite yet, but I'm going to draw the posing just to get this right. In my campaign setting, lady dwarves aren't naturally bearded, but wear false beards as a status symbol, a la ancient Egypt. Some braid their hair into a false beard. I forgot that that was a thing in ancient Egypt. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh, that's great. I love that little development there. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I need the image reference for Adam's particular character he wants me to draw. Okay, I think I got it. Get this general posing. I'm going to be moving stuff around and playing with proportions here in just a minute. That's a bit better. I had made the legs just a little bit too long, but there we go. That'll fix it. This is just the pencil layer. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a functioning skeleton to draw on top of. There we go. My hot chocolate is no longer hot. I'm disappointed. Mostly just disappointed in myself that I didn't drink this faster. But hey, it's still creamy, so that's okay. Oh. That wrist, shoulder, elbow placement trick isn't really going to work here because this is going to involve a lot more foreshortening. There is a trick to foreshortening now. I was just checking to see if there were any new comments. The foreshortening trick is, well, let me determine the placement of the sword. Kind of tilting away because timid and pointy sharp object face away from me. Oh God, it's so heavy. Why? So there's the wrist. Oh, does this? It's chocolate, not milk now. Yeah. Yeah, the apt descriptor, Carlos. Okay. Adam, yours character is one of the few that has 4 fingers rather than 3. I was about to say I'm used to, but I'm not actually used to. I've seen it go both ways. Okay, elbow placement, elbow placement. Oh, first, foreshortening for this arm. The swirl technique, or the coil. The coil technique was something that I had seen someplace, and I don't remember where. I think it was on YouTube. Somebody had found it on YouTube and forwarded it to me. And a friend of mine from college, Little Green Hat on social media. I believe she's on Instagram at Little Green Hat. She forwarded me that, and it does work. You know, I don't know how buff or beefy this particular character is, but I'm going to take a guess and say that if she's like wobbling with a sword, maybe not that beefy. I erase the little coil under sketch here, but it looks like it worked as far as little visual shortcuts go. Yeah. I'm so used to drawing beefy characters because Legend of Jamie Roberts has a fair bit of muscle going on, surprisingly. But like, not every character is a tank. Some characters are noodly ropes. I'm going to do straight line for this one. And again, pencil under sketch doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Just a rough idea of like wiggle motion. I'm going to be changing it on future layers, but ducking out now. Rock on, my dude, and never stop drawing. You too, my dude. Yeah, from 1 to 10, she's like a -2. Oh, the little ropey baby. Oh, oh, the precious bean. She's trying. She's actively trying. I will give her that. It's more than most. Let's see. Checking the references, seeing how to draw stuff. Okay. A little snoot. There we go. Oh, she's wearing glasses. I love drawing characters who wear glasses, obviously, or else I wouldn't make the Legend of Jamie Roberts, because Jamie Roberts is wearing glasses all the gosh dang time. I think I'm drawing her hair red. Oh, the hair is actually a little I'm probably going to jinx this saying this out loud, but it is incredibly lucky that there is no cat in my lap right now. Because usually, Reapery will jump into my lap at this point, demanding cuddles, because how dare I not give her attention, you know? I'm just going to make sure that the hair looks okay. Yeah. Yeah. Adam, let me know what you think. If I need to adjust the hair a little bit more, or if this is fine the way that it is. I'm gonna tweak the ears. The ears aren't that long. Here we go. Okay. In this conception of her, I imagined her wearing a hoodie, but I can draw her in a different setup. Looks good to me. Awesome. Glad I got your approval on the hair there. I mean, what's the worst that could happen when summoning a cat? A lot of things can go wrong when summoning a cat. So many things. I live with 2 of them. Earlier, like, okay, Scarlet, my black cat, has this thing that she does. When she feels like that I'm not paying enough attention to her, she will come over behind the chair here, and then she will come up to the wall, and she'll just scritch on it. And she's not supposed to do that, but she will do it if she feels like she's not being listened to enough. Okay. Okay. Like I mentioned, Adam, in my initial conception of this sketch, I imagined her in her hoodie, like that one reference pic that you forwarded me. But I can draw her in a different ensemble if you would like me to. Like maybe she's in armor that she has no idea how to move around in, or something like that. I'm going to clean up these pencil lines just a little bit. I'm going to draw her arms a little bit thinner because, again, she's a ropey baby. Not going to be Beefy McMuscleton's third cousin twice removed or anything like that. There we go. Speaking of Beefy McMuscleton, that is the nickname of my printer. Unfortunately, it looks like Beefy McMuscleton has died. Because I asked some of my techie friends and also my mom's boyfriend who works in tech support. So my printer is doing this thing. What does this mean? And they were like, you're going to need to get a new printer. So not looking forward to that. One does not summon a cat lest they be prepared for cuddles of indeterminate length. Yes. And very sharp claw cuddles. Heavy armor that she has no hope handling. Sounds perfect. Yes! We're doing it. We are doing the heavy armor thing. No, I know. I'm sad to see Beefy McMuscleton fall apart, but at the same time, I've had him since like 2013. The fact that he has lasted until like 2019 before he started to just glitch with error messages is like a testament in and of itself. Which, if you would like a long-lasting printer, HP, because Beefy McMuscleton is an HP printer. He's lasted this long without having to break down. And this was his only time that he broke down, but it was his final cry. Don't worry. Do not worry about sending money to me though, because I've got some money coming in. I've got my tax return, and I'm going to be using that to cover getting a new printer. So like, and I'm mentioning this because last week when I was live streaming, we were talking about Clip Studio Paint, and people were actively donating to me, which I wasn't expecting like at all. And it was very nice of you to do that. I missed the window to get Clip Studio EX. So what I ended up doing with that money instead was there were a couple of people who I follow and support on Tumblr who mentioned that they were having trouble covering their bills. So I forwarded the money that was originally donated for the Clip Studio EX level up. Because I missed the window to take advantage of the Clip Studio EX discount. It only lasted until the 17th. And by the time I got everything together, it was past the 17th. So the money that was raised for the Clip Studio Paint Fund, I instead forwarded it to other artists who were having trouble paying their bills. And I let the people who had donated know that. I felt like it was the right thing to do, to let them know that was where their money went, and to put that money towards those artists who needed that. So again, like, I'm talking about having lost Beefy McMuscleton, but like, don't worry about contributing to help replace him, because I've got a tax return coming in and I can use that. I'm actually fairly okay. And I made a blog post about it, which you can find on my website here. Like, reinforcing that all things considered, I'm actually okay. Like, I'm not asking for donations at all. I would rather ask that you go to my Tumblr, which I'll bring up my Tumblr link here. And here we go. There's my Tumblr link. I started a tag on my Tumblr called Artists Helping Artists. I've been reblogging other artists who are having trouble paying their bills or are trying to sell their stuff that they had printed for convention season, but then convention season up and canceled. So I have been reblogging their stuff to be like, hey, y'all should check these guys out. So if you would like to support other artists who are needing of some help, go to theoxduncan.tumblr.com and check out the hashtag Artists Helping Artists. So there you go. Can I still donate in hugs? Absolutely, you can donate in hugs. Hugs. Oh, okay. Happy Catter Day. I forgot that it was Catter Day. But every Saturday is Catter Day, especially around this house. I'm going to leave this link up so that if you would like to help contribute to Artists Helping Artists, or to check out some of the artists that I have reblogged who need your help, you can just go to theoxduncan.tumblr.com and check out the hashtag Artists Helping Artists. I will leave that up for a little bit longer while I work on this a little bit more. Now, unbelievably, armor is not my strong suit in terms of drawing, which is weird, considering you would think I'd be good at it given the amount of fantasy stuff that I draw. But like, I still find myself struggling with it at points. Whoop. Had my finger on the space button. Space in Clip Studio Paint, at least with the shortcuts that I've set up for it, the space bar is the hand, which helps you move the canvas around to the point where you want to move it to. Again, this is the pencil layer, so like nothing's fixed. So we can change it around as needed. One belt to keep everything up, another belt to hold the sword, or the scabbard. That's the word. I know my terms. I'm going to need to brush up on my vocabulary, considering I'm going to be designing, I'm going to help with the design of weapons for the Never-Ending app. You would think that I'd get my vocabulary together to know what I was talking about. Oh, going to give a shout out to one of my favorite podcasts to listen to in the background, All Work, No Play. All Work, No Play is a podcast where two voice actors, Sam Riegel and Liam O'Brien, talk about the fun they done. And the fun they done varies from episode to episode. Their first episode is them doing sword fighting and learning how to sword fight. And there are some very handy terms in that particular episode if you would like to learn how to sword fight, and handy poses and things like that. But I love the teacher for that particular episode. He is sassy and delightful, and I love it. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You should just watch it. When in doubt, when drawing heavy armor, draw knee guards like you would knee pads for roller derby girls. That's just going to be my thing. A hug and spirit to you as well, my friend. Hugs. Hugs from a long distance, because social distancing. Yep. Again, I'm going to leave this link up here for a little bit longer for if you would like to help out other artists who are struggling during this time. And trust me, there are artists who are struggling at this time because of convention season getting canceled. And there are a lot of artists who are like having trouble paying their bills, are sitting on a lot of merchandise that they had gotten printed up, but they can't sell because events got closed. If you would like to support these artists, check out theoxduncan.tumblr.com, the link on the bottom of the screen here, and check out the hashtag artists helping artists on that blog. I've been reblogging artists who are in that boat that need your support. I'm going to leave that link up for a little bit longer for you. Oh my gosh, so cute. Right, the sword hilt. This is an odd little detail to ask about, but Adam, let me know in the chat if this particular character is left-handed or right-handed. This is very important as it will determine the placement of the scabbard. You know, now that I'm looking at this, this looks like a strange cross between leather armor and plate armor, at least in Dungeons and Dragons terms. So I think I'm going to look up, because I'm drawing this armor without a visual reference first, but I'm going to pull up references here shortly just to make sure that I'm getting everything right. She's a righty. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so right hand is going to be, okay. Straight line and straight line. Again, this is the pencil layer, so it doesn't have to be perfect. That's a little too narrow of a scabbard though, so I'm going to fix that. Yoink. There we go. It's a bit better. Okay. Oh, dang it, that was in the pen tool. I needed that to be in the pencil tool. Trying to keep everything consistent. Get it together, Kel. All right. That's better. Some of the squeaking is just my hand against the tablet here. This says a lot about me and my sketching process. I don't generally use erasers. Not typically, but in this particular instance, I'm going to need to use erasers a lot. That's a bit better. Okay. That looks pretty good. Yeah. Oh, wait, that line was supposed to be there. Not this one, but this one. One was supposed to be there because this is going to be the chainmail underlayer. Well, chainmail here as well. Which, from my understanding, remembering Adam Savage talking about cosplay and things like that, like chainmail, when you're wearing like a full-on suit of it, it's heavy as heck. Ah, poop. Gotta fix the line. There we go. Much better. Okay. Just to get an idea of the chainmail under sketch. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of my chocolate, not milk. At least it was made with cream. Did I miss anything? Sketching, lots and lots of sketching. I will say that this live stream will be archived very shortly after being live. So if you want to catch it from the beginning, you can catch it from the beginning. You just got to give it like, I don't know, 10 minutes for YouTube to catch on to, hey, this needs to be archived. So yeah. Okay, we got about 40 minutes left to this live stream here. And all right. Oh, the feet. I can't just pull a Rob Liefeld and not do the feet. Okay, I gotta look at the references here. Okay. Okay. For those who are watching and are curious, what the heck kind of animal is this particular anthro? This is a possum. I'm gonna do something a little bit different because, okay, when it comes to old-timey plate armors, there's a lot of variations as to how to plate the feet, but I like this particular design. And I remember this because I remember having to look up plate armor boots for another commission for another client a little while back. So there we go. Yeah, there we have it. I think this looks delightful. I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit more to make this a little bit easier to see. Again, I don't usually like erase when I'm working on the pencil layer, but for this one, I'm going to. Okay, there we go. I think that works. All right, Adam, let me know what you think before I get to the final touches. If there's anything you would like me to add or remove, but definitely add. I'm always up for like changing things around if you need me to. Just let me know. Awesome. Yeah, she's an awesome possum. I'm pretty sure that is the exact reason that she is a character, because we all want to say awesome possum more. Okay, I'm going to take a second to rinse out my mug because I just finished this off. I'll be right back. Can you see the entire thing? I'm going to... There we go. Take a full view of it while I rinse this out. Let me know in the comments what you think. I am loving it so far. Don't worry. Sweet. Okay, cool. I am happy to hear that. I think that's all of the commissions sketched out. A good chunk of these I'm going to have to send to the commissioners to ask for their approval before I get to the final stages. But this one, I can start inking this. So I'm going to do that. I did learn a trick, thanks to Pinterest, so that if I wanted to later, I could change the color of the inks on this particular layer. I'm going to doodle it up a little bit more before I give a demonstration as to how to do it. There's actually a lot about Clip Studio Paint that I am still learning. I am happy to report that Clip Studio Paint does do animation, which makes me really, really happy because I want to try my hand at animating. I haven't animated in years, so I'm going to be a little rusty at it, but I have some animation ideas that I want to draw. I'm going to redraw that eyebrow. Okay. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. Okay. Now, turn that pencil layer off. And I want to fix that nose a little bit. There we go. So here's the trick that I learned for how to change the color of the line arts. I'm going to go with red so that you can see this a little easier. So what I did was I went over here to the layers section and then I hit this little icon. It's got a little lock and a grid. Lock transparent pixels. So I've hit that, so the transparent pixels are locked. So now I can color the line art a different color and it won't affect the rest of the page. There we go. That's how you do it. When I saw this, it was in a GIF set because somebody had asked another artist, how do you make gradient line art? Because I have no idea how to do it. And this is how. This is how you would do it. Now, I'm more than likely not going to be doing this for the final commission, but I wanted to give it a demonstration for anybody who has this software and wants to give this a try. This is how you do it. There we go. I'm going to unlock and I'm going to get back to inking. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. You know, I told myself that I was going to look up armor just to make sure that everything was all hunky-dory. I'm going to do that. Oh, right. Real life traditional medieval plate armor has a skirt around the middle. A very particular skirt design. I usually don't opt for it because it looks... Okay, imagine Shakespearean era poofy shorts, but metal. Like literal metal. That's what these metal skirts are on traditional IRL plate armors. There's a reason I don't go with that, and part of it is because it's very silly to my aesthetic, so I don't often do it. Okay. Okay. I actually need to fix that, because more traditional plate armor has the kind of a pointy that. At least on the outside. The outside facing of arm gauntlets has little pointy bits. But the inside has to be soft enough so that you can actually like fold your arms and not pinch yourself. Make sure that looks okay. Looks okay so far. Okay. There's also, I think, an element to the idea that perhaps this armor that she's wearing is not the full armor because she has no idea what she's doing and she does not know how to put on or assemble plate armor on herself. So like, I feel like that might help justify the armor not looking 100% realistic, is the fact that this character doesn't know what she's doing. I'll fix that. Hold on. That's better. Okay. Okay. Looking good. Awesome. Oh, hold on. Okay. For Pete's sake. There we go. think I might make a cup of tea later. I do an awful lot of talking during these live streams. But this is to make up for the fact that in previous live streams, when I did play music, I either had people freaking out on me or the YouTube bots swooped in later and were like, you can't monetize this. This is copyrighted music. So, but that's okay. I'm used to being able to talk out loud while making artwork. One of the many skills that I picked up from drawing caricatures at Cedar Point was the ability to talk and draw at the same time. I definitely learned a lot from that job. I'm so glad that I don't do it anymore. Just throwing that out there. I can do it. I can make caricatures. It is a skill that I have, and it is a very handy skill to have in your back pocket if you're in a pinch and you need to make money at a party. But I'm so glad that I don't do it as a living anymore. Now I get to draw comics. I get to draw commissions for people. I get to be creative officer for a startup. Like, I am incredibly lucky in that way. I am aware that not all artists get the chances or the privileges that I do. So I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I do have. I'm just winging it and hope it works out. Yeah, that's the secret of being an adult. You just wing it and you hope it works out. Talking is good. Thank you, my dude. Doesn't know what to do with extra armor pieces. No, of course this character doesn't know what to do with extra armor pieces. Like, are you kidding me? She doesn't even know what to do with a sword. Dat metal. Butt metal. Yeah. So much metal going on. You would think that she would start a band. Okay, I'll bring this link up a couple more times because I've mentioned this. I have mentioned this company quite a bit already in the last few minutes. This is Never Ending. You can find them at beneverending.com. They are the company that I am working with at the moment as Chief Creative Officer, which just basically means I work with the team to determine the visual aesthetic of the video app that we are producing. The video app being a tool that we are developing to help people bring their stories to life. So if you ran a D&D campaign and you want to make that into like an animatic, this tool that we are developing at Never Ending would make that way easier for you. Oh, hold on. Okay. Had a bit of a hiccup. We're okay. I know what I did. Okay, going back to this. Let's get the straight line tool a little thicker. Hold on, let me see if that's, yeah, that thickness should work. And make this look a little more, dang it. It was looking really good until it wasn't. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah, there we go. Better. Okay, back to this. Actually going to do a little bit of a variant on this one because this is something that some plate armors do have, which is this like leather front flap of varying strips. They come in many different colors. Okay, there we go. And then there's the pleats to protect the hips. You know how I mentioned earlier that there were like 15th, 16th century armors that had the looked like big poofy shorts just made out of metal? That would be the placement of these little like hip protectors. In traditional real life medieval armors, these plates would not be square, they would be bulbous, very bulbous. I will say it does help that one of the comic projects that I've been working on does have a lot of roller derby girls rolling around in gear. That project is my webcomic validation, actually. I'll put the link for that up here. Because I'm going to let you in on an update. Validation is returning online March 30th. We were originally going to come back on with regular updates in April, but given everything that's going on right now, we figured that we would push the updates forward, actually. So we are bringing the comic back March 30th. So if you are a fan of Validation and you've been missing us because of the hiatus, we are coming off of hiatus soon. When we do come back, though, it is going to be the final run of Validation. So just a heads up. Chris and I had gone on hiatus to build up buffer for this last run and to actually make this last run. It just took us a little longer than expected because up until the recent unpleasantness, our respective day jobs had kept us very, very busy. So we weren't able to update the webcomic as much as we would like to on a consistent basis. So we just switched to a weekly update until we ran out of buffer, and then we went on hiatus so that we could build that buffer back up. Took us a long time to get to building that buffer up again, but we have enough that we can relaunch March 30th to conclude this arc. It won't be the complete end of Validation. Validation will run on Instagram, and you can find it on Instagram at Validation Comic. Pretty sure that's the at. You can find out more on my Instagram at Kelsey D. Crawford, all one word, all lowercase, and that's Kelsey spelled with a C-I. I was born with that spelling. I am not spelling it that way because that's all, but because I was born with it. Oh, that's better. But yeah, Validation will be on Instagram. We will also have Instagram profiles for Roxy as well as for Mike and Steve. And the Mike and Steve one is happening because I love Mike and Steve. Series finale for Validation on validationcomic.com. The season finale, the series finale will begin March 30th. Once we're done running it on validationcomic.com, we will be reposting the old strips on Instagram. We will still be coming up with new validation-related content on Instagram. It just will not be a continuation of Allie's story. It will be a continuation of some other character's story, like Roxy, because I love writing for Roxy, and I also love drawing Roxy. And there will also be a profile for Mike and Steve, because I love Mike and Steve. So be excited for that. Oh, Carlos, that reminds me actually, because you had forwarded the information about the Ignatz Awards. I'm thinking about submitting validation for consideration for an Ignatz Award. I was originally thinking about pitching The Legend of Jamie Roberts, but I think maybe validation might be a better pitch. Especially considering when I was at SPX last year, I think the crowd would resonate a little bit more with validation. But I don't know. I think The Legend of Jamie Roberts could do well. It's just people need to know that it exists. That's the thing. Of course, there were nominees for the Ignatz Award last year that I had not read. There was one comic that got 3 awards, and I still haven't read it. I am a bad comicer. You can do both. I can submit both comics for consideration? I didn't know that. I thought it was just one comic per artist. But if I can do that, shit, I'll submit both. I'll submit Jamie Roberts and validation. Excitement engaged. Yes. All right. I think I'm caught up on comments. So that's very Ignatz. Yeah, that's true. When I was sitting at the Ignatz Awards last year, yeah, that would be very Ignatz. The Ignatz Awards are, okay, as somebody who sat through a lot of awards ceremonies when I was in grade school because I was an academic overachiever, sitting through the Ignatz last year was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know awards ceremonies could be this wackadoodle. And I didn't know they could be this much fun. So I'm happy that I made it to the Ignatz Awards last year. I'm really hoping that they happen again this year. All right, I'm going to change up the link that's on the screen. Let's make it. Oh, you know what? If you like what I do, check me out at this website. This is my blog site, also my portfolio site. And it will have my social media links on there as well, like Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, Coffee. I did just get Discord today. Once I get everything figured out, I'll forward Discord information. It's a punk rock award show. I've not actually sat through an actual punk rock award show, but it is very punk. It is very, very punk. But given the punk scene in the DC area, I'm not surprised. I still want to go to a legit super art fight. I only went to the quote unquote family friendly ones that were at AwesomeCon back in 2018. But I want to go to an actual legit super art fight one day. I still have the sexy full shirt. No one knows what it references. I have to explain it. Oh, it's part of super art fight. I love my sexy full shirt though. Sexy full, for those who are not in the know, is a contestant in Super Art Fight. His full name is Baron von Sexyful. He is a fabulous man. There we go. Oh, you know what? I should have done this before. There we go. I'm going to draw the tail first before I draw the scabbard. That way that's done. And that way, when I do draw the scabbard, I can erase the tail lines and not be too worried about it. Because the scabbard, perspective-wise, is in front of the tail. I'll try this again. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. DC punk rules. I will take your word on that. You have good taste in punk. I still have yet to listen to the New Zealand punk albums that you forwarded me, but that's mostly because my laptop does not have a CD drive, so still figuring out a CD player situation for that. But you know what? I might just blast it in my car, because my car has a CD player. It's very sexyful. Baron von Sexyful is very sexyful. It is a sight to behold. But yes, going back to DC punk and just punk in general, like, you know, Sean, I just thought of this. Grace willing, once I make it up to Toledo, and the move to Toledo is looking like it's going to happen, but it might be postponed a little bit because of what's going on right now. But when I do make it up to Toledo, we should see about bringing clothespins and hand grenades back, because we would be in person and we can start up that punk rock music show. And we've got like a fuck ton more bands that we could talk about for the show. Clothespins and hand grenades was a podcast that my friend Sean and I did of just playing punk rock music and talking about punk rock. We only ever did like 2 episodes of it, but I would love to bring it back. Okay, yeah. Got the tail. So, let's get the scabbard. Oh, we only have 5 minutes left to this stream. Holy banana pants. That went by fast. Dang. All right, let's see about finishing this up, and then I can get some basic colors laid out before calling it a day. We are one step closer to getting this commission finished. Heck yeah. All right. There we go. Oh my gosh, so cute. I love how this turned out. Great. All right. There's a couple of black shadows that I could add in there to, you know, improve the depth just a little bit. So let's. There we go. I'll make this pop a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good start for the blacks, for the black shadows. When you add blacks in just the right way, it can help improve the depth. I don't like how that turned out though. There we go. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. And heck yes, I'd be game for that. Yes. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully we can get that podcast happening whenever I make it up there, because that would be awesome. Okay. We just got a couple more minutes left to the stream here, y'all. Okay. And I guess that's good. All right. Save the progress and so far. And colors. Let me check the references to see what color everything is. Black, red, and okay. Lots of black and red. Good to know. Cool. I'm going to start a new layer for colors. And setting this to multiply so that it doesn't overlap the black inks. It's honestly the easiest way to do it. Oh, you know what? I should have a shading layer though. Easiest way to put shades on a piece is to put them all on one layer, set the layer to multiply, and then set the opacity to like, I usually set it to 35%. It depends on how dark of a shadow that you want to go with. There we go. Dang it. There we go. Fixed it. Cool. The glasses! Can't forget the glasses! Oh my gosh. Because as cute as a button possum character needs to have her glasses. There we go. Oh my gosh, so much better. So much more cute. Look at that. Okay. Need to get this color again. Dunzo. Okay. This layer. Okay. And looks like that's all the time we have for this particular stream, y'all. So, all right. Probably going to work on this a little bit more, but I also got a lot of other things that I need to catch up on with The Legend of Jamie Roberts, Chapter 2 in print. By popular demand, I'm making a Q&A page in The Legend of Jamie Roberts, Chapter 2 in print. Can't hold a sword without her glasses. No, she needs her glasses to see. Goodness. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff with Jamie Roberts Chapter 2 coming into print that still need to get done. Commissions is just one of them. They're getting worked on. So I'm gonna touch this up perhaps a little bit more. Send those sketches that you saw me working on earlier today, send those off to the people who requested them to get their approval. And then once I get their approval, I can actually start finishing them up. And aside from that, I will be streaming again next week. Moving forward, I'm going to be streaming every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm doing this until further notice to help us get through the slog. And also to help get us through the fact that there's no convention season so far. But like I said, I'm doing okay. If you would like to keep up with updates from me, you can just check out my website at the bottom of the screen, kelseydcrawford.com. For further updates, social media links are on there as well. But I update with a blog post once a week on Thursdays. And I have an email newsletter that you can find out more about on my website there. Other shout outs. I'm going to give a shout out to Be Never Ending. They helped sponsor today's live stream. Never Ending is a new startup that I started working with. We are developing an app to help bring your stories to life. We are developing a video app to help make it easier for people to take their stories from like D&D sessions that they just ran, or from story scripts that they're working on, or screenplays. And it'll be like an app full of character creation tools and environments so that you can make your own scenes and make your own animatics. That is the objective with Never Ending, is that we are developing this app for you to help make telling your stories much easier. So for more information and to sign up to find out when we launch our Kickstarter in May, go to beneverending.com. Right now, we are still slated to launch our Kickstarter in May. For any further updates on that, you can check out Never Ending on Twitter at Be Never Ending. There's also a Facebook link that'll be down in the description below. Any other shout outs? Like I said, I am doing okay, but there are a lot of artists out there who are struggling, especially with convention season getting canceled. So there's a lot of artists who are struggling to pay their bills, and a lot of artists who are sitting on a lot of product that they wanted to sell at these conventions, but they can't anymore. And so they're not just struggling with paying their bills, but they have a lot of stuff. So if you would like to support artists, check out theoxduncan.tumblr.com and check out my hashtag on there, Artists Helping Artists, because I've been reblogging artists who do need your help during this time. And I also posted on there about a fund that Patreon started called What the Fund. Find out more about that by going to theoxduncan.tumblr.com and checking out the hashtag Artists Helping Artists. Anything that you can do to help out these folks would be hugely appreciated. All right. That is it for me for the time being. Any other comments in the live chat before I kick this off? I'm going to give you all a second because I know there's a lag. Notifications on my phone, but they're not important. Okay. All right. So that's going to be all for now. Tune in next week here on YouTube from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. for yet another live stream. What I will be doing in that live stream is still to be determined. I might be doing art requests. I might be working on commissions still. I could be doing a lot of things. If you want more DC Punk to check out, anything on Discord Records is a good start. Good to know. Thank you for the shout out. That app sounds super awesome. Doesn't it though? I'm really excited and I'm really jazzed about it. So I'm really hoping that when we do get our package together for the Kickstarter in May, that other people are also jazzed about it. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to see how it all gets pulled together because I've been working with the team on a lot of art assets for this app, and it is shaping up to be something really cool. It's also been like super challenging because we've had to get together as a team and ask ourselves like, what would other people like to see for this particular app? What kind of environment would they like to see? And all that stuff. So it's been pushing me artistically, as well as within the team. So I'm loving this challenge. If you would like to find out more, you can check it out at beneverending.com, and also on Twitter at beneverending. There's also a Facebook page. That link is going to be down in the description. To find out more about me, just check this link out here. All right, that's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for your support. Tune in next week or just find out more about me at this link here. Thank you for watching. You are awesome.